Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this one we will be ranking the Assassin's Creed protagonists. Not the games, but the protagonists. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm just going to say I do not hate any protagonist so far, and the only protagonists in this list are from the main titles. So, Chronicles China, India, Russia, and all them, they're all excluded. Even though Russia and India aren't even out yet, and etc. Even Adewale. So let's just get into it, shall we? At number 7, we have ARNO Victor Dorian. So Arno Victor Dorian, he wasn't a bad character. He was in Unity, which brought him down a lot, and I disliked the fact that he was in Unity. But beyond that, his character sort of fizzed out. He started off really powerful, like really strong character. Not as a child, of course, he was a bit retarded, but no, he started off with as the silly Arno, as a big guy. He started off a bit retarded, and it was alright. And it was likeable, but then it fizzed out. The moment he got those robes, he was all frowns, no smiles, all violence, and you know, he just didn't have any personality, and his chemistry with Elise was not very strong at all either. So for that reason, his chemistry with other characters as well, I put Arno this high up on the list, because really he could have done a lot better as a character, if you ask me, because he really just flopped. The next one isn't much different. It's Connor KENWAY. Now, Connor didn't actually have a personality, but it was at least consistent. In Arno's personality was not. Connor didn't actually have much of a personality. He did have a bit of personality, but he didn't make jokes. I mean, even the darkest people have light moments. I know people are like, oh, he's watched his mother burn alive, oh, his village was burned down, oh god, everything was ending in fire for him. I feel so sorry for Connor, why can't you just feel sympathetic? And no, I completely understand that, but no. Even the darkest characters have light moments, but EZIO's an example of that. So, you know, the fact that Connor doesn't have any of those brought him down a lot. And EZIO had a dark light past, but he wasn't brought down by it at all, and he definitely wasn't serious and angry all the time. Connor had really big outbursts of anger, and I did like his combat style. He was a badass in combat, so I have to admit he is a really good fighter, and he's probably the most. He's definitely a better fighter than EZIO and all the other characters. So this was the list purely on their combat skills. I would say Connor would have been at the top. But since it's about personality and all other things included, he is quite high up on the list. Now the fifth one's going to get people hating me. It's ALTAIR Ibn Ahad. I hope I pronounced that right. ALTAIR Ibn Ahad. Either way, he's this high up on the list because, you know, he didn't have much of a personality himself, but he was really important to the Assassin's Creed games, so he's definitely better than Connor, and he's definitely better than Arno in that respect, because he is the lore of Assassin's Creed. He is the living incarnation of the Assassin's Creed lore, so that's all I can say about Altair. Now at 4 we've got SHAY Patrick CORMAC. SHAY was a pretty decent character. He had the sense of humour. He was quite fun to talk. It was quite fun to play as. He looked like a goat or something, and he sailed like a goat too, but he wasn't a great assassin, no, but at least he converted to Templars, and from then on out he was actually pretty decent. So I can't really argue with SHAY on that one. Next up we've got Jacob and EVIE FRYE. I cannot separate these two possibly, I couldn't imagine it. If I did, they would be quite a bit higher up on the list because they complement each other so well, and they do a really good job of complementing each other. So that makes them really good characters when complemented by each other. On their own, they're not as strong, I would imagine, but I don't know. Maybe the Jack the Ripper DLC will tell me that EVIE's strong enough on her own, and that Jacob might be strong as well, but they seem to complete each other, because there were two different parts of one mind, really. It was symbolism, that's what the game was more about, and I noticed that, and I was like, okay, cool. So these characters sort of complement each other, and there's no way of separating them. I got it, they're brother-sister chemistry, that I understand that much. It's symbolism. I do GCSE English because I am forced to, with a gun to the back of my head, and it really bores me because Lord of the Flies is crap. But, you know, I couldn't possibly separate these characters. They're really good, they have some downfalls, but they're really good characters overall. So, yeah, that's why they're at number 3. At number 2 we have Edward James KENWAY. This character was probably exactly the same as Jacob and EVIE together, but since he's one character, he deserves to be higher on the list because he's one character there too. he has the chemistry that they have. He has chemistry with himself, and he has chemistry with you can feel him in. You could feel that he could have been like a link in there. He could have been a link between all the pirates, and he's really awesome. He's quite badass. He's quite funny. He's played by Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's pretty good at what he does, and he just makes quite good jokes, and he's very pirate-like. He's quite stereotypical, but he's quite not at the same time. I mean, he has the stereotypical like aggressive nature, but I just think he's really good character. He had some downfalls, like he constantly sailed his ship, and he preferred his ship to any others, even though they were obviously better. But other than that, I reckon Edward Kenway was a great character. He had great character development as well, and that's what made him at number 2 on this list. Now, at number 1, everyone saw it coming from a mile away, and that mile is still going. And that's EZIO Auditore da Firenze. EZIO Auditore da Firenze was an amazing character. How can I put it? He's the best character to date, purely for nostalgia and the fact that he had 3 games, more games than any other main Assassin's Creed protagonist, and he was a good fighter. He was a good parkour like master, even though the engine wasn't great, and he had chemistry with all the characters around him. He fit in the setting, arguably more than any other character did, and he had love interests that sort of worked. I'm not going to say they fully worked, because I'm just going to be honest, they probably didn't mostly. But they were really good. What they did with him, he wasn't perfect. I'm not going to say he's all perfect, but he's by far the best character that we've seen in the franchise, purely because we've seen him from birth to death, at almost every moment of his life, probably, besides from probably the sex scenes, or most of them at least. We did see some of them, but yeah, we've seen a lot of Ezio's life, and I think Ezio is by far the best character in the franchise. But Edward Kenway is also pretty good, and so are Jacob and EVIE FRYE, but I reckon that Ezio is definitely still 110% better, so suck on my bollocks. Ezio also has the nostalgic value as a character, and for that to have good personality and decent robes as well, makes him number 1 on this list. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, like, subscribe, share, comment. Be sure to subscribe. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers. It'd be awesome to hit that before New Year rolls in. Be sure to check out my other videos as well, and go ahead and subscribe to both, because that would be awesome. But thanks for watching guys. So yeah.